Hey all, so I'm just coming to you today with the latest Qubic news updates. And sorry about some of these messy slides. I've just fired them together because I saw some interesting things in the Qubic community this week, and then I saw some really exciting news today from a price potential point of view that I'll share with you in a few minutes. Just some thoughts on that. So firstly, I just took a few clips out here of the latest weekly update on the latest epoch. And again, the Qubic team is sharing that today they're running another seamless transition, ensuring that the network continues to operate smoothly without interruptions. If you're new to Qubic, you might know that there wasn't seamless transitions till only a few weeks ago, but now there's no downtime with the Qubic network. Every week it just runs seamlessly. That's a really big deal in terms of this being a viable product, and a really big deal in terms of this getting listed on major exchanges. Then they share some exciting developments here. They said that the QX, so that's the Qubic exchange, and their new smart contract system have reached a pivotal phase, and both are now available on the testnet. And they just shared the point then that looking ahead, they're on the brink of integrating QX, which again is the Qubic exchange, and the new smart contract system into the main network. And if testing proceeds without significant bugs, we expect to roll out these features in the next epoch. So basically, next week they're expecting to roll out these features if there's no significant bugs. And they said that this will not only enhance our network capabilities, but also strengthen our position for upcoming exchange listings, which, people are probably sick of talking about exchange listings at this point. I'm in no panic with exchange listings. I don't really care right now. I see, all the time that Qubic isn't listed on major exchanges or isn't getting major mainstream attention. I just see it as a buying opportunity for me. So I'm not in any rush. I know that's coming. And then just, what's really exciting is to see that the QX, the exchange, launching. That's going to mean that transactions will be available on the Qubic network. Also, once that app launches, it should burn a significant amount of Qubic as well. So I would expect a big burn from that. But if I'm wrong about that in any regard, please drop in the comments if you think any different. And then the smart contract system, those smart contracts are going to cause Qubic to be burnt as well. And if you don't realize what that means, it's a big deal, because it means that any Qubic that you currently hold is going to increase in value without, for no other reason than just there's going to be less supply of Qubic, and your Qubic going to increase in value just based on that alone. But these are huge developments for the Qubic network, and it's just exciting to see how it's playing out and the network's developing. Then next on to some things that I pulled out of the Discord. So in the Discord group, so Come From Beyond, this guy here, Sergey Ivancheglo, has been quite active recently, talking about Qubic price, talking about some things like that. And he was asked, what is a realistic peak price for Qubic? And he went and said that 1 cent. Now, 1 cent from here, without any burns, would be an incredible 10,000 X in value. So if you put in $1 right now, Sergey Ivancheglo is saying that $1 would turn into $10,000. No, I think I'm right in saying that. It's always worth mentioning that, as I keep saying, I'm an idiot. My maths could have been off there, but around 10,000 X, I think, is correct. I'm correct in saying, and I will clear 4 zeros, I think, at that point. And that, that would put Qubic at where things stand right now. It would put it at a market cap of 4 trillion, which seems crazy, and it is a crazy number. But so there's two schools of thought in this. So firstly, 4 trillion, like Bitcoin is eventually going to reach a market cap like 4 trillion. And Qubic is far more revolutionary than Bitcoin is. And Qubic, from everything that I've seen, has all the potential in the world to be the ultimate crypto solution, and could be the number one crypto. So a 4 million market cap isn't unrealistic from that point of view. But the other school of thought in this is that then, people said, they believe what he's saying here, even though they thought it sounded crazy, I guess, but they said, when are you able to make that prediction? And he said, when Sergey Ivancheglo, or Come From Beyond, said, when Agart is ready. And then people, went on to ask later on, well, when is Agart going to be ready? And Sergey said, it'll be ready in about 3 years. So, it's not going to be ready for this bull cycle. But there's, again, another two schools of thought in this. So Agart, firstly, is probably going to just, because it's going to be such a revolutionary development and the first of its kind, it's probably going to, raise the price of Qubic just based on that. And it's going to get worldwide adoption, going to be so many enterprises using the Qubic network and so many use cases for the Qubic network that alone is going to drive Qubic up. And you could be looking at that 4 trillion market cap. But the other bigger picture then, I think this is what Sergey is getting at here as well, and why he would say 1 cent, is that Agart, through AI, is going to start burning on the Qubic network. So all the AI that's going to be running on the Qubic network is going to burn Qs, the Qubic token, because Qs are considered the fuel of the Qubic network. So as they're burning these Qs, the supply is going to decrease, meaning that the value of each Qubic is going to increase and increase. And he's been saying this for quite a while. He said that, someone said, what is your prediction of rank that Qubic will reach in this cycle? And now they said in this cycle, and this is from February this year. So in this cycle, and he said it depends on Agart progress. Number 2, if we finish it, top 10 otherwise. So he's basically come out recently and said that Agart is 3 years away, is what he's thinking now. So it's not going to happen in this cycle. So he doesn't think that's going to be the number 2 crypto during this cycle. But he does think it can be a top 10 crypto. And then just some other interesting points here is that that I saw in the Discord was Sergey was also saying that all bugs are fixed as far as he's concerned, but they can't activate QX trading because this epoch will get a seamless transition. I think what he's saying is that the next epoch, they're not going to go for a seamless transition, and that's when they're going to activate QX. But he already thinks that's just ready to go and all bugs are fixed. So really bullish news again. Probably there'll be a few burns coming from that. And in general, I think just by QX being used, there might be some burnings. I could be wrong on that since it's only trading and not smart contracts. But then smart contract functionality definitely will have some burning. And then, just things in tokenomics. So this person here was just asking in the Discord that the maximum number of tokens issued is 1 trillion. And I think they were asking, could it go beyond that? Or they're kind of wondering, is every time 1 Qubic is burned, is that it gone out of existence forever? And let me elaborate on that a little bit. So basically what Sergey answered here is he said, 1,000 trillion is a cap set in stone no matter how much we burn. It's a cap for the current supply, not for the issued amount. Again, a little bit confusing, but what he means by this is that there can only ever be 1,000 trillion Qubic in the current supply. That's the cap. But Qubic is a little bit different than a lot of platforms out there, because the way it's going to work is that you could have 100 million. So you could, in the morning, have 1,000 trillion Qubic, and we've hit that max point. And then, overnight, 500 trillion could get burned. And then the next day, 100 trillion could be created. Now, that's not the way it'll work, but what I mean is that, that there, over the whole history of time, there could be 50 quadrillion Qubic ever created, and there might be only 100 in the current supply, but the max that could ever reach is 1,000 trillion. I don't know if I made that simpler or more confusing, but I'm trying to explain it as the best that I can. But basically, we kind of expect Qubic to settle around 100 trillion as its max, as its kind of permanent current supply, and it's going to kind of inflate in small bits beyond that and deflate in small bits below that, but always stick around that point. but there's always the possibility it could rise to 1,000 trillion cubic. And every time a cubic's burnt doesn't mean that that 1,000 trillion can't fix. So, for example, if there was 100 trillion burnt off that 1,000 trillion, and we went down to 900 trillion, there still could be a cubic created and it could go back up to 1,000 trillion again. Look, I'm talking myself in circles here, but I hope you get the point of what I'm saying. The last point here from Sergey is that he just people just ask, is he still working almost daily on Agart? Because that's what he's been doing almost all the time lately. But now he said he's switched what he's doing right now, because I guess he's done so much work on Agart. He now realizes he needs the power for it. So he said he's optimizing mining and collecting fiat for new hardware. The new algorithm is too slow and he needs to make it faster, so he needs more PCs. So I guess he needs more PCs in his office. Also needs more miners giving their compute power to the Qubic network as well as a thing. And then he said problem with fiat is that he can't sell it on exchanges, so he has to do it over the counter, which he's probably is selling. He's probably selling some Qubic as well here too, that he has to fund some of this. But I don't really know. And that just gets me back to one other point. Just I don't love project creators talking about price. I've said this before, but I'm kind of coming around to the fact that it's probably good that he is talking about price, because this is such a unique project. It's probably good if he can pump it and get the price up. I mean, all projects are basically like big pyramid schemes when they start off anyway. I just hope it doesn't bring any regulatory concerns, him saying things like this. Time will tell, I guess. I guess another reason he wants to get this price up is that there's better rewards for miners, so more people will join the mining network, and in turn will give more of that power to the Qubic network. But yeah, I'm a little bit on the fence about project creators talking about price. But look, business owners, are always trying to find ways to improve shareholder returns and find ways to raise the price without directly saying things. But maybe at times Sergey here has been a bit too direct. So then the last kind of few points I have here is that just again what we were saying about the supply of Qubic is that this guy here was just saying it seems CFB has a pipeline of IPO in reserve, and at 99 trillion the IPO comes to reduce supply, so maybe this is why he is so confident supply will not go above 100 trillion. Just kind of a misunderstanding here. I don't think this person here quite understands what Sergey is getting at when he says that the Qubic supply won't rise above 100 trillion. And basically, Sergey just came in here and clarified this. He said 100 trillion was just an assessment. He's just guessing. And I think he meant an estimation, not an assessment. But he said it's possible to have 103 trillion as the cap, or 95 trillion. For sure, I'm going to run one at 99 trillion. So all he's saying is that he thinks that it's going to settle around 100 trillion. It could be 103, it could be 95 trillion. But he's not expecting, once burns come into play, to see the circulating supply of Qubic much further than that. And then this guy said, simply put, if the project continues to progress, will it gradually burn from 1,000 trillion tokens down to 500 trillion, so on? Also, is there a burn mechanism in AI's Agart? Again, slightly confusing question, but what they're saying, again, is what I was just sharing a minute ago, was that they're kind of wondering, can we always fill back up to 1,000 trillion tokens? And the simple answer is yes, we can always fill back up to 1,000 trillion tokens. It won't just burn completely till there's only one queue left in the whole system. And then, Sergey just answered then his final question here and said AI running on Qubert will be burning supply too. That's really bullish, by the way. It shows once AI is running on Qubic, there's going to be a lot of Qubic burned. That's all I've got for you guys. I'll see you on the outside.